feel like every episode starts with me going, okay.
No,
like,
every episode starts with you going, oh shit, we're recording?
It's true. Are we recording?
Welcome back to the Ghosty Girls podcast. I'm Christina.
I'm Alicia. Hi. Hello.
Hi. We've officially exited spooky season and entered sick season.
I hate it.
Yeah, I've been dealing with a sinus infection for over a week now, and it sucks. So if I sound a little nasally,
you don't.
I apologize. I don't.
You sound like a magical, beautiful, delightful unicorn.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm on my last day of antibiotics, so and I hate being on an antibiotic. They make me feel awful. Like I've been so dizzy and I have just not, like, brain fog. I have not felt well at all. So I'm hoping that, let me adjust my mic. I'm hoping that Alicia just like put her entire face on her mic.
I have to talk closer.
I think she's busting my balls because when she got here, I was like, Alicia, you have to speak into the mic.
I am. How's this?
It's probably going to be too loud now.
Hello.
But the last episode, I was like, she sounds very far away.
Well,
I want people to be able to hear you though.
Nobody wants to hear me. Let me tell you
that's literally the reason of a podcast is to listen to the host.
I'm just here to hang out, man.
Yeah,
I mean, Apple Jacks.
I get it.
No, so I have how do you say it? Like
awareness?
I know I have ADD. Not prescribing. Like, what does a doctor tell you?
Self-diagnosed.
Thank you.
Okay. There you go.
I have self-diagnosed ADD, which has been confirmed by several friends.
Yeah, I was going to say, I really don't think I think it's just unofficially diagnosed. It's not even self-diagnosed. I think everyone is like, yes, you have ADHD, ADD, whatever.
Yes.
I keep telling her she has to make a doctor's appointment. And honestly, I probably need to be on it as well because I have not been focused lately either.
Well, my thing is I fidget a lot. So like if you hear me come in and out of the microphone, it's because I'm like reaching for something or like
she does, or she does her makeup or her nails or her this or her that. And
I have to constantly be doing something. Otherwise I can't focus, which sounds crazy.
No, I get it. I get it. It makes sense. A lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people with ADD are like that.
Fancy that.
Now she's going to try to quietly eat an Applejack. Oh my God.
Okay. I'm ready for this story. Let's do this.
All right.
Let me take a drink too.
So I don't have a drink that'll make noise today. I don't have an ice drink. I switched it up today because Dunkin' came out with their holiday drinks. It's a pretty cup. It's pink. I got a peppermint mocha, a hot one.
Was it good?
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not Starbucks.
I'm not a fan of peppermint.
Really?
In things, unless it's like a York peppermint patty or Junior Mints. I'll crush them.
I like peppermint in my drinks because I feel like it settles my stomach a little bit. Like especially like peppermint tea.
Yes.
It really helps settle your stomach.
It does. See, I'm a fan of ginger for that.
You know
like
what?
the spicier.
I don't like ginger very much.
What?
No.
What about ginger ale?
I like ginger ale, but I feel like ginger ale doesn't taste very gingery. Like,
you're right.
Ginger as a whole, like ginger candies and all that stuff, it's too earthy for me.
I love it.
It tastes too earthy. I wish I liked it because they say that helps your stomach too, but
listen,
I can't do it.
When I was pregnant with Jackson, the only thing that would make my stomach feel better was this candy called Gin-Gins. Gin. I think that's what they were called.
I did the Preggy Pops. I think they're called Preggy Pop candy. They were good. They were sour because sour candy actually helps with nausea as well, which is weird. And you know what helps with heartburn? This is very fucking weird.
Vinegar.
Hot tamales.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
Isn't that makes no sense. So it's very random, but when I was pregnant, I had really bad heartburn and hot tamales, the candy helped. I don't know.
You know what helped me? Zyrtec.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I'm just kidding. But damn, that's like fighting fire with fire.
It is.
Okay.
I know. I don't ask. I don't. I saw it on a pregnancy forum.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Remember Carla Homolka used to be on the pregnancy forums? I wonder.
Oh, God, that fucking bitch.
I wonder.
Fuck you, Carla.
I wonder if like one of the pieces of advice that I read on like Baby Center or whatever was written by her.
Listen, maybe she is your heartburn savior and was like,
no,
try hot tamales.
No,
just kidding.
We're not giving her any kind of any kind of credit because she sucks.
Yeah, she's a big stupid head.
Yeah, speaking of big stupid heads, today we're going to be talking about a big stupid head.
Ooh.
That's putting it lightly.
Okay.
I'm going to apologize in advance. This is going to be a rough listen. This is bad.
You know what, though? I feel like our numbers have been down because we've been a little bit gentle the past few episodes.
We have been very gentle. This is not gentle.
Good.
This is not gentle at all.
I'm here for it.
Today we're going to talk about Richard Chase, who is also known as the Vampire of Sacramento.
Ooh,
have you ever heard of him?
No.
Oh boy. You're in for a not treat.
Oh.
It's really bad. So Richard Trenton Chase was born on May 23rd, 1950 to parents Richard Chase Sr. and Beatrice Chase in Sacramento, California. Now, Richard was the oldest child, and he went on to become a big brother to his younger sister, Pamela. This may be a little shocking to our listeners, but Richard didn't have the best childhood.
What?
Isn't that crazy? I know, you never hear that with serial killers. So I want to take a moment to talk about something that I don't think we've ever talked about on this podcast, and that is the McDonald triad, which Richard displayed all three characteristics of.
Okay.
And the McDonald triad is a somewhat controversial concept that was first introduced by psychiatrist J. M. McDonald in 1963, hence the name, the McDonald triad.
You know, we're all thinking about Ronald, though.
I know, right?
And now we all want fries.
The Ronald McDonald triad, which is fries, a Big Mac, and a Coke.
See, I do fries, Fanta orange, sometimes a fish-a-majig. What are they called?
A fish-a-majig? A fillet of fish? Oh, yeah, you don't eat red meat. See, I'm a Big Mac girl. I like Big Macs. But anyway.
Sorry, digress.
So what J.M. McDonald theorized was that there are three distinct signs that can predict whether a child will grow up into a serial killer or violent criminal offender. And you probably heard of this before, but I feel like, you know, a lot of people don't know it's the McDonald triad.
I had no idea.
Yeah. But these signs included bedwetting that continued after the age of 5 years old, cruelty and abusive behavior towards animals, specifically household pets, and a fascination with setting objects on fire and or committing acts of arson. I feel like everybody's heard of that.
Yeah, 100%. I didn't know it had a name, though.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. In regard to cruelty to animals, McDonald theorized that this happened as a result of children being repeatedly humiliated by authoritative figures that the children could not retaliate against. So think an abusive parent, teacher, babysitter, older sibling, etc. Since the child could not stand up for themselves and they felt powerless, they would often take out their aggression on something that was like them, completely defenseless, i.e. an animal.
Yeah.
Arson was used as a way for the child to exert their aggression, and the bedwetting was more or less a result of extreme stress and anxiety, which is something that abused children would obviously endure. Now, does this all mean that a person is guaranteed to become a serial killer if they exhibit these behaviors as a child? No. But can it potentially help diagnose these problems in children before they have the opportunity to progress into them becoming a violent offender? Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. But it's important to note that the McDonald triad is not the end-all be-all, but it's interesting nonetheless. And a lot of serial killers, specifically the male serial killers, have all exhibited these three characteristics. So that is interesting.
It is crazy. I mean, just how the brain works. I wish I was a smarter person so I could really dive into that and figure it all out.
You know what, though? Even the smartest people still don't really know how it's still a mystery how the brain works in some regards, you know?
It's crazy.
Now, as I stated earlier, Richard Chase did exhibit all three of these signs. His father was extremely physically abusive towards him, and his mother allegedly suffered from some kind of undiagnosed mental health disorder. Richard's mother and father also argued all the time, so it was a very volatile environment. They screamed at each other. His mother would often accuse his father of cheating on her. And one story that I read in my research, which was really weird, I guess they were on a family camping trip at one point, and the mom accused his father of cheating on her with a woman whom she claimed was hiding in the bushes. That's weird.
That's real weird.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just got like a Blair Witch flash. Like
hiding in the bushes.
Them like in the woods on a camping trip, and like I don't.
You're cheating on me with that ghost.
Yeah,
over there.
with the Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Ugh. At the age of 10, cats had begun to go missing in Richard's neighborhood, and his mother ended up finding the corpse of a dead cat buried in her flower bed. And what does the mother do? Nothing. She did nothing. She told no one, which not a good start.
No.
Things began to deteriorate in the Chase household, and his parents began going back and forth between splitting up and getting back together. So things were pretty tumultuous at home. And at one point, Richard actually went to live with relatives for a while until his parents could get their shit together. And they finally reconciled when Richard was a teenager. Despite all of the family drama that was going on, Richard was actually pretty popular in school until he hit high school in the 1960s, when he began to experiment with hard drugs, including LSD. And yeah,
that's not a good mix.
No, we've discussed this before. Drug use at such a young age, when the brain is still developing, is never a good thing.
No.
And it's also really bad for people that already have underlying undiagnosed and untreated mental issues, which Richard absolutely had.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Also, in high school, Richard discovered that he was suffering from some kind of a sexual disorder. Although he liked women and he was attracted to women, he could not achieve an erection from the thought of sex with a woman. He also started to have some delusions, like thinking that maybe if he had more blood, that this would help him out. Because we all know that you need blood to pump through a penis to achieve an erection. So he thought that if he killed animals and consumed their blood, that would cure his erectile dysfunction. Spoiler alert, it did not. But
So
yeah,
don't try that at home.
Yeah, maybe don't try that. This became a huge issue in his life, as he apparently had no problem at all getting girlfriends, but he could never seal the deal, so to speak. As an adult, Richard was no longer living with his parents and was steadily going through roommates because people could only tolerate him for a very short period of time due to his shenanigans. He was heavily using drugs. He would like walk around the house completely naked. Like they would come home and find him just chilling on the couch, completely butt-ass naked.
That's gross.
Yeah. He would nail himself shut in his bedroom because he was convinced people were out to get him. He just did some really weird shit, and everyone that he lived with was like, they couldn't handle it for that long.
I get it.
Yeah. Richard also became obsessed with his health, or lack thereof, and became convinced that his organs were failing and shutting down. He went to doctor after doctor, and nothing was ever found to be physically wrong with his body. He claimed that his heart would stop beating, his bones were, quote, coming out through the back of his head, and he even claimed that someone had stolen his pulmonary artery, which is very oddly specific.
Well, you would be dead.
Correct. What? He would just like show up to an emergency room and say that someone had stolen his pulmonary artery.
And they didn't check him into a mental institution immediately.
Well...
Oh,
Richard.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. Richard was eventually diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia at the age of 23.
Good.
And yeah, he just continued to mentally deteriorate. After showing up to a hospital with blood poisoning after he injected himself with rabbit blood. Isn't that crazy?
He injected?
Yes. He injected himself with rabbit blood because he had an obsession with blood. He thought that blood would cure him of all of his made-up ailments. Yeah.
Okay.
So he was ultimately committed to the Beverly Manor Psychiatric Hospital. And it's here where he obtained the nickname Dracula from the other patients. And this was due to the fact that he openly admitted to killing animals and drinking their blood. And staff members even said that at the hospital, and they all saw this, Richard would snap the heads off of birds and drink their blood.
At the hospital?
Yes, at the hospital.
What?
Yep.
I just had a visual and I did not like that.
It's not a good one. Not a good visual. After a short 5-month stay at the psychiatric hospital, for reasons that I can't even begin to fucking fathom, Richard was released to the care of his mother. 5 months, I feel like, isn't long enough for someone who's literally snapping the necks of birds and drinking their blood in front of other people. But
no.
What the fuck do I know? I'm just some bitch, right?
Some bitch.
So his behavior, it continues to become more and more erratic. And this is probably exacerbated by the fact that apparently his mother weaned him off of his psychiatric meds because she felt that he was better and he was cured.
Yeah, that's a reason.
Here's the thing. The meds are... You're getting better for a reason. It's because the meds are working. And I feel like this is so common where people are like, you know what? I'm better now. I'm fine. The reason that you're better is because the meds are working. Yes. Don't stop taking your meds. Please don't stop taking your meds. So at this point, Richard begins accusing his mother of trying to poison him. He starts doing all this weird shit. One day, his mother, Beatrice, comes home and I read 2 different versions of this. One version was that she comes home and finds Richard standing in the backyard ripping apart the corpse of her pet cat and smearing the blood all over his face. Another version was that she got a knock on the door, opened up the door, and he was standing there with the dead cat doing that. Either way,
it's terrible.
It's bad. Yeah. I can't even imagine. But again, what does Richard's mother do? Nothing. She does nothing and tells no one.
Yeah, that's smart. I mean, I understand it's your kid, but like, you have to understand that's not normal. I can't.
If I see my child standing in front of me, ripping apart the corpse of my cat and smearing the blood all over their face, they're getting 5150'd. I'm sorry.
Earmuffs, Banks.
I will do everything in my power because as a mother, it's your responsibility to help your fucking child.
Correct.
Why she didn't, but you know what though? I can't really judge because I did read that it's speculated that she also suffered from an undiagnosed medical condition. So
yeah,
I can't,
too.
Yeah, I take that back. I can't judge her because maybe she just didn't have the mental capacity to understand that what was going on wasn't normal. I don't know.
Listen, I mean, unless she's right alongside of him drinking blood and stuff, she's got to know.
You would think.
But you're right. Maybe not on the level that you and I can see it at. Shoo.
So apparently his father found out what happened and he was like, he can't live here anymore. Like this, at least his father recognized that this was not okay.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, I feel like they should have had him committed, but what they did instead was they actually rented him an apartment so that he could be out of their hair, which I of course, now that no one's watching him and he has zero supervision at all, he really goes off the rails. Because now he's got a safe space to bring home all of the animals that he's killing. Like it's kind of like Jeffrey Dahmer situation. Like he really went balls to the wall when he moved out on his own because no one's watching him.
Right. Now he can. He's
now
got
he
that
can.
freedom.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit.
So he continues killing neighborhood animals. He brings home the animals. He eats them raw. And then he also puts pieces of the animals in the blender to make smoothies out of them because
That reminds me of that episode. We might have talked about this before, 1000 Ways to Die, where the guy was eating squirrels.
No.
And all of a sudden he like had a fear of water and like was like mentally
rabies.
He got rabies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he was eating raw squirrel meat.
Oh my God.
I digress.
Oh,
Continue.
that's bad.
Sorry.
Well, and he did go to the hospital at one point with blood poisoning because of the consuming rabbit blood. So he is real fucking lucky that he didn't get rabies.
Well, he injected his own blood with rabbit blood.
Yeah.
He said how did he how do you survive that?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. So this brings us up to August of 1977, Pyramid Lake, Nevada, which is an Indian reservation. And reservation officers come across an abandoned pickup truck that had been stuck in the sand. They go over to the truck to see if anyone in the car needs help, and they discover rifles, blood everywhere, and a bucket that was full of blood and a liver. So immediately officers are thinking that they may have a homicide on their hands. Like they don't know if this is an animal organ, a human organ. They search the area and they discover Richard Chase totally nude and covered in blood about a mile away from the abandoned truck. Richard is taken into custody. The liver is tested and it's found to be that of a cow. Since this was the liver of a cow and not a human, Richard was then released from custody without charge. And I have some questions about this. Why was he not at the very least committed?
Yeah.
I mean, you have this man running around on an Indian reservation, butt-ass naked. He's got long, like Charles Manson hair just flowing in the wind. He's covered in blood. He's got a cow liver and multiple rifles in his truck. This isn't a little weird to anyone?
And a bucket of blood.
Mm-mm.
Whose cow was it?
Don't know. Probably a cow that he found on the reservation, I guess.
Well, wouldn't that even at minimum be stealing protected property?
You would think.
You would think.
Yeah. But I mean, in Nevada also, they do have like wildlife just like
Cows?
everywhere.
Cows?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, when we went on our trip there and we did the Grand Canyon tour, they said that one of the roads that we were on during the day was like one of the most dangerous roads in America because there's no lights.
Yeah.
Because some of these areas in Nevada that are in the desert are completely off the grid. They don't even have water. Like they have to have water like brought in. And they say that it's one of the most dangerous patches of road because you can't see anything at night, and wildlife like cows and horses and stuff will just walk across the road and you won't even see them until you're right up on them. So it could have just been a random cow. I don't know.
That's fair, but still, like you said.
But still, I feel like he at the very least probably should have had an evaluation.
Something.
I don't know. So Richard, he's released to the public. And 4 months later, on December 27th, 1977, Richard decides to drive around Sacramento in his pickup truck. And even though police did not release his rifles back to him, Richard was somehow able to obtain a handgun. Amazing how that works, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's driving around and he spots a woman in her home, standing in her kitchen, just washing her dishes and minding her own business, as one does. And he decides to shoot her. Amazingly, the bullet went through the bun in her hair, just missing her head.
Wow.
And lodging itself into her kitchen cabinet. So she was really fucking lucky.
Really lucky.
She was going to be Richard Chase's first victim. She's so lucky. Holy shit.
Dodged a bullet.
Literally. Can you imagine just like standing in your house, like doing housework and a bullet...
Jenny
What the fuck
Wade.
is wrong with people, man? But I feel like that's more... I mean, she was in an active war zone.
Yeah, that's fair.
But still, I mean, it's bad.
It's still, yeah, you're literally just standing in your kitchen and boom.
Ugh.
No.
The fuck? Anyway, it gets worse. That's
great.
nothing.
Excellent.
2 days later, Richard goes out joyriding again. And he spots 51-year-old Ambrose Griffin, who was a very well-respected and well-liked engineer and father of two, who was carrying groceries in from the car for his wife. Richard decides to shoot him and kills him on the spot. Just totally random, no reason at all, other than he just wanted to kill somebody.
Oh.
Luckily, police were able to connect the murder with the prior shooting of the woman in her kitchen because they found that the bullets at both sites were shot from the same gun. So at the very least, they knew that there was somebody driving around a neighborhood randomly shooting people.
Yeah.
Around this time, people in the area also began to report some really strange activity, like seeing a man prowling around in people's backyards and like jiggling door handles and stuff. They would chase him away. He would come back and be seen in another house. So this guy was just like terrorizing this neighborhood.
Why were the cops not called?
They were, but he would run at that point.
Oh, okay. Damn it.
And on January 23rd, 1978, Richard successfully broke into a home, but he was able to flee when the family got home. Luckily, he didn't kill them, thank God.
Yeah.
In searching their home to see if the intruder had stolen anything, the family finds that the intruder urinated in a drawer full of their baby's clothes and then defecated in their baby's crib.
Well, that would all be in the trash immediately. It would probably just burn that whole room.
Yeah.
No.
So then Richard goes to a mall in the area and he spots a former classmate by the name of Nancy Holden. And she was immediately creeped out by him because he was very obviously following her around the mall. And he was like real disheveled looking. She could tell that he was not well.
Was he wearing clothes?
He was actually,
Finally.
believe it or not. So she goes out to her car. He follows her. He tries to force his way into her car, but luckily she's able to get away without being hurt. Thank God.
Thank God.
This frustrated Richard because he was very literally looking for blood. So he goes to leave the mall and he spots a house behind the mall that had a fence with an opening that he could squeeze through. So he goes into the backyard and at the same time, 22-year-old Teresa Wallen, who was walking outside to take out the trash, runs right into him, essentially. He immediately shoots her 3 times. And the sad part is that the first shot went through her hand. So that shows that she was trying to defend herself. Like she put her hand up to protect herself. He shot right through her hand. And then he shoots her in the head twice. This is where things get really, really bad. So I'm going to put a disclaimer in here. This is going to be really hard to listen to. It's okay if you need to tap out. This is fucking rough. And this isn't even the worst of it. Yeah. This guy is really, really, really bad.
We're
right?
all
Here we go.
We're all a bunch of weirdos. We want to hear it.
Richard takes Teresa's dead body and he drags it into her bedroom. He then stabs her in the heart and in her breast, cuts off her nipple.
God damn it.
I know. It's
Lord forgive me. Why?
You always say that. It's always the nipple.
It's always the nipple.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine because I thought the same thing when I was typing it. I was like, why is...
It's always the nipple.
What is the...
No.
I don't know.
Mm-mm.
He then cuts her abdomen open and disembowels her, removing her internal organs. She was 3 months pregnant at the time.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not that, I mean...
I know.
You know what I mean.
I can't even talk about it because I'll get upset. He then goes through the trash and finds an empty yogurt cup and he begins filling the cup with her blood and drinking it. Before he left the home, Richard found dog feces in the backyard, came back into the house and shoved the feces into Teresa's throat and mouth.
Oh, gosh. There's a special place in hell for this guy.
Yeah. This is like one of the worst. So Teresa's husband, David, came home later that day to an absolutely horrific scene. And it was so bad that even seasoned investigators were left completely speechless. I mean, you can only imagine walking in on that.
I don't want to imagine that because I get visuals.
They were also really confused about the yogurt cup, which Richard actually left behind. And the yogurt cup was tested for fingerprints, but unfortunately, Richard had been wearing gloves at the time, so they couldn't get any prints off of the yogurt cup. Mm-hmm. Investigators also found the knife that had been used, which was taken from the kitchen, used to stab her. Then he brought it back to the kitchen, cleaned it, and put it back where he found it. Isn't that weird?
That's very weird.
Mm-hmm. Luckily, there were eyewitnesses that saw this guy like prowling around, and they were able to give a composite sketch of a man who they had seen lurking around the neighborhood at the time of Teresa's murder. And this ultimately proves to be very helpful later on.
Good.
2 days after Teresa's murder, a family reported that their dog had been found dead in their yard. The dog was shot, disemboweled, and the kidneys were removed. Immediately, investigators were like, this is the same guy. This is the same area. They were like disemboweled in the same fashion. They knew they had to work fast to catch this person. And they referred to him as a quote unquote sick son of a bitch, which in my opinion is putting it lightly.
Very lightly.
It's being kind to him, calling him a sick son of a bitch. It's being kind. So this brings us up to January 27th, 1978. This is 4 days after the murder of Teresa Wallin. This is the worst one. I don't know how to even preface this, but this is bad. Richard goes out riding around in his truck again, but this time he picks a different neighborhood. At this point, he's clearly in his frenzy stage, and this is when it all really escalates. He's driving around this neighborhood. He spots 36-year-old Evelyn Miroff, who lived alone with her 6-year-old son. And Richard became fixated on Evelyn. He wanted to drink her blood specifically. At the time, Evelyn was at home babysitting her 2-year-old nephew, David. Richard was able to enter the home through an unlocked door. He confronts Evelyn, shoots her dead. Hearing the commotion, her nephew, David, begins to cry. Richard finds the boy. He shoots him, kills him. He was 2 years old.
Good God.
Richard then takes off all of Evelyn's clothing and engages in necrophilia with her corpse.
Gross.
And remember how Richard had his erectile dysfunction problem? Well,
not anymore.
This didn't apply to corpses, apparently.
Sick.
And this was the first and only time that he was able to achieve an orgasm. And this was through sodomizing a corpse. And later on in the autopsy, they said they found like an ungodly, that wasn't the word, but they found a crazy amount of semen in her anus.
Oh.
Like an abnormal amount.
I don't even, again, I don't have words. This is too much. But I'm still here for it for now.
Yeah. After he repeatedly engages in necrophilia, he disembowels the corpse, stabbing the internal organs in Evelyn's abdomen multiple times. And he then attempts to remove one of her eyes with a knife. And I'm pretty sure, didn't Stephen Pinnell remove the eyes of his victim and he cut off their nipples?
Nipple.
Very odd, right?
Very odd. Maybe it should be a
part of the McDonald triad.
Yeah, like clearly not the triad because it's more than 3, but like if it progresses, maybe it should be like the McDonald
octagon.
Sorry.
Back to the autopsy. The autopsy actually stated that there were several knife wounds in Evelyn's anus, and one of them was so deep that it actually punctured her uterus.
Damn.
What kind of a person do you have to be to do this, is all I'm saying. But it gets worse.
I can't.
I don't mean to laugh. It's just like...
We're uncomfortable.
I can't imagine things getting worse, but it does. It gets worse. So while all of this was going on, a family friend named Daniel, who had taken Evelyn's son Jason out shopping for new clothing for a trip, because apparently they were going to like go to the mountains and go like skiing or tubing or whatever. They were going to take like a little family trip with the kids. They come home.
Ugh.
Of course, they're confronted by Richard because he's in the house like a fucking lunatic, doing what he's doing. And I'm not going to repeat any of it because no. So Richard shoots both Daniel and Evelyn's son, Jason, immediately killing both of them. Richard then got a bucket, stuck it in Evelyn's abdomen, scooped out her blood, and began to consume it. He then went back to the crib where the body of Evelyn's 2-year-old nephew was lying dead. And it's kind of unclear at this point what he did, but some sources state that brain matter was ultimately found in the tub. And what they think happened was that he like opened up his head and
I can't. Mm-mm.
This is a baby.
No.
Yeah. So again, we aren't really sure what happened with the baby in that house, but what we do know is that Richard was interrupted by neighbors and he fled the home with the baby's body, leaving in Daniel's car.
So he stole the car too?
Yes, he stole the car.
Okay.
And while all this was going on, one of Evelyn's neighbors became concerned because apparently a little girl had come over to the house to play with Jason, and she actually saw Richard while he was fleeing. So the neighbors go into the home, they find the bodies, they call the police come out, and they find this absolutely horrific crime scene. And it's not only a horrific crime scene, but there's also a missing baby involved because, again, Richard took the baby with him. And at this point, they didn't know if the baby was alive or dead. Like, there was a lot of blood in the house and everything, but, you know, at that point, it could have just been a kidnapping.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't know. So Richard goes home in Daniel's car. He decapitates the baby's body, drinks his blood, and then consumes some of the brain matter. So now he's engaging in cannibalism. So, I mean, we've got everything in this.
Literally everything.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't like it.
He's awful. He's really, really, really awful. Due to the state of the crime scene and also the similarities to Richard's prior murders, investigators were pretty much able to connect the crimes immediately. Like, they knew that this was done by the same evil piece of shit. They took the composite sketch of the man that was seen lurking around Teresa's house the day of her murder, and they circulated the sketch to the public. And this is where things really tie in, and this is actually like really interesting, the way this happened. Remember the woman that Richard had gone to high school with and he was following her around the mall, Nancy Holden? Well, Nancy ends up seeing the composite sketch in the car of her father-in-law because her father-in-law was actually a police officer.
Oh.
Yeah, so she randomly sees this sketch and she's like, oh my God, that's Richard Chase. That's the guy that was following me around the mall, acting all fucking creepy, trying to get in my car. So she tells her father-in-law what happened. So now they've got a name and he's on their radar.
Good.
And remember, Teresa's house was right behind the mall. So this placed Richard in the area of the murder on the same date and time of the murder. So they've got enough probable cause. Officers then do a background check on Richard Chase, and they get a hit for that incident in Nevada where he was frolicking around naked and covered with blood. They compare his photo to the composite sketch, and they're like, yeah, this is him. We've got him. And also with the blood stuff.
Yeah.
They were fairly certain that they had their dude.
And what was he taking? Livers? Kidneys? Livers?
Basically just all kinds of organs.
Ugh.
I know. So police go out to Richard's apartment to talk to him. He refuses to talk to them and tries to flee, but luckily he's apprehended. In a search of the home, investigators found the following: rotting meat all over the apartment, like rotting animal meat, organs, raw meat, because he was killing tons of animals at that point. It was, they said it stunk. It was disgusting.
It had to be gross.
Probably like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house.
Gross.
Ugh. They found both animal and human body parts in the refrigerator and freezer. The organs of some of his victims had been placed in saran wrap, and brain matter from baby David had been placed in a Tupperware container, and they were assuming that was to consume later. They found a drawer full of knives. They found a blender sitting on the counter that was full of sludge that appeared to be the remains of flesh or body parts, all mixed up like he had been trying to make a smoothie. And that's what he that's what he was doing. He was making smoothies out of it. Some sources said that there were pieces of baby David's body in the blender as well. They found a bucket with blood in it, bloody rags with brain matter on them, and these were later tested and found to be from baby David. A pistol was found in the apartment that matched the bullets used in the murders. They found Daniel Meredith's wallet actually on Richard Chase, so he was carrying the wallet. And they also found family photos of his murder victims that he had apparently taken from the homes of his victims as fucked up souvenirs.
That and nipples.
Yeah. One thing that was missing from Richard's apartment, however, was the body of the baby. And this was ultimately found in a box at a nearby church. So they did uncover the body eventually. So Richard's taken into custody. He's covered in blood. His clothes are blood-stained. He's dirty. He's disheveled. Because at this point, he had completely stopped taking care of himself. He had stopped showering. So you can only imagine what it must have been like to be the one to question him. It was probably bad.
Well, if he lived in all of that rotting meat and
he wasn't showering. He had blood all over him.
And you know how sometimes if you eat something specifically, you smell like that, like, you know, like garlic and stuff. I wonder if that, nope, I don't wonder. I don't want to think about it. I'm done. Thank you. I'm done. Continue. Or don't. Either way, it's fine.
Well, I'm already committed at this point. Not, I mean, committed, but I'm committed to the story. This is a bad joke. Anywho. So in the beginning, while he was being questioned, Richard would only admit to killing animals, but he does eventually divulge some information. He told investigators that he had to consume blood and make animal smoothies because if he didn't, his heart would, quote, shrink so much that it would disappear and then he would die. Doesn't work like that, buddy, but no. Okay. He also said something that I think about very regularly because it's absolutely chilling. And if it doesn't cause you to double check that your doors are locked every night, I don't know what the fuck will.
Oh, Lord.
But this is what he says. Richard stated that he would jiggle door handles of homes, which was corroborated with eyewitnesses.
People saw him.
Yeah. If the doors were locked, in Richard's mind, it meant he wasn't welcome inside. If they were unlocked and opened, that meant that he was welcome inside to kill.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Well, and he is called the Vampire of Sacramento. And you know how, like, vampires, like, the lore with them is, you know, you can only come in if you're invited in.
Yes.
Well, if the door was unlocked, that was his, like, he took that as he was invited to come in. So, always lock your doors, guys. Jesus Christ.
Please. Get a bar.
I think about that all the time.
Yeah,
like,
that's
because there are people out there that really have this mentality. Like, oh, well, if the door's open, I'm allowed in. Oh, God.
That is nuts. You are not allowed in.
No.
If anyone out there thinks that that is the case, don't just go into someone's home.
So Richard was ultimately charged with 6 counts of first-degree murder. And the trial of the state of California versus Richard Trenton Chase began on January 2nd, 1979. And of course, his defense entered a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. No surprise there. The prosecution, however, worked very hard to prove that Richard knew exactly what he was doing, and that most importantly, he knew that what he was doing was wrong. And the jury agreed. And on May 8th, 1979, after just 5 hours of deliberation, Richard was found guilty on all 6 counts, was found to be legally sane, and was thus sentenced to death by way of gas chamber at San Quentin Penitentiary in California.
Good.
One thing I found super fascinating about the trial is that the defense team made the very questionable choice to put Richard up on the stand to testify in his own defense. And I can only guess that this was a tactic to, I don't know, maybe somehow prove how out of his mind insane he was. Maybe they thought if they put him up on the stand that they'd be like, yeah, this guy really is a fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
It's a bold choice, but it didn't play out. On the stand, Richard testified that he believed that all of his problems stemmed from not being able to perform sexually with a woman, and that it all started when he was a teenager. So he basically blamed all of this on erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, that makes sense. Totally. And on the stand, he said that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, the following is taken directly from FBI documents that I was able to find online, which were really interesting. Have you ever looked at FBI reports and stuff on serial killers? It's really fucking cool.
No.
Yeah. I'll link this report in the show notes, but it's really interesting to read because you get an inside look into who these people really are. It's crazy.
The actual killer, all the inside details that they don't tell you in the media kind of thing.
Correct. Yep.
Nice.
And this was apparently a report that was generated after the FBI interviewed Richard while he was on death row in San Quentin. When asked about the murders, Richard stated that he had planned to appeal his conviction because under California law, homicide is considered justifiable if a person kills to save their own life. Richard stated that he did commit these murders to save his own life because he did it to obtain their blood, which he needed to live.
Okay.
He also stated that he was ordered to commit the murders by quote-unquote death rays that came down from a UFO.
Oh, God.
He states that maybe he wouldn't have had to kill anyone had he just prayed harder to the UFOs.
God, this story has everything.
It really, really does. The only thing it doesn't have is Bigfoot, I think.
Well, we can throw that in there.
Yeah.
Bigfoot. The end.
Richard also gave his writings to the FBI, which basically alleged that he was involved with UFOs, the mafia, and also the CIA, which...
Oh, literally
now we got
almost
the CIA
everything.
in it, and the mafia. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So it was clear that Richard was not well at all. And it came as a relief to many that he was on death row awaiting his execution. However, this execution date would never come, as Richard Chase was found dead in his cell of an apparent overdose on December 26th, 1980. A suicide note was later found in his cell, which explained that he had been hoarding his psychiatric medication in an attempt to end his own life, which he succeeded at.
Damn it.
So that was the end of Richard Chase. Side note, isn't it crazy how they used to perform the death penalty by gas chamber?
Yeah. That is...
Gas chamber.
Yeah. I mean, you just fall asleep, right?
I'm assuming.
It's kind of...
I feel like lethal injection is really humane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what we do for our animals when they're suffering.
Yeah.
I feel like the worst death would probably be the electric chair, right?
Yeah. I think we need to bring that back.
So there is actually a recording of, I can't remember who the person was, but they attempted to electrocute this person several times and it didn't work. And they kept, I guess the chair was failing.
Well, look at Albert Fish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we should do an episode on that and play the video because, not the video, but play the audio because it's very disturbing.
Yeah.
And you can tell that the people recording are kind of like, holy fuck, why is this person not dying? Holy shit, what do we do?
Yeah.
It's not an easy listen, but I feel like it's important because, I mean, the death penalty it's a huge part of true crime.
So you're a lot nicer than me when it comes to, I think, the death penalty. I'm all for it,
I'm not nicer. I want the people to stay in jail because jail is worse than lethal injection.
Oh, I know, but I want them to feel the pain that they brought others.
You don't feel any pain with lethal injection.
No, that's what I mean. I almost think bring back the electric chair and let people that are on death row really...
Some states still have the electric chair and they can opt for it. I mean, I don't know why you would, because that's not.
Well, I say don't give them the choice. Like, if that person really, like, this guy murdered a baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's all up to. I mean, it's a personal thing. You know, your beliefs on the death penalty are very, very personal.
They are, and I'm not going to judge anybody who disagrees, and please don't judge me, because it makes me sound like a heartless bitch. But at the same time, like, I always put myself in the view, if it was my family, like, I would want them to hurt as much as they hurt someone else. You know?
I would agree with you, but I think that, I mean, this is just my personal opinion. I mean, we could debate this until we're blue in the face. It just comes down to your personal beliefs.
Yeah, absolutely.
But jail is not a fun place.
No, you're right.
It is a fucked up, awful place. If you are in prison on a life sentence with zero possibility of parole, you have no hope. You are literally just rotting away in a tiny cell. That, to me personally, is my own version of hell.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's what I would want for someone who killed one of my family members, honestly. I don't want them getting lethal injection.
That's like an easy
what we
way
do
out
for
to
our
you.
Animals. It's peaceful. You don't feel anything. You just go to sleep. It's like, I mean, it would be like going under anesthesia. Okay. I want them to rot in a prison cell. And like, when you are on a life sentence, when you are in for a life sentence with no possibility of parole, how hopeless is that?
That's
your
hopeless.
entire life. You're just waiting to literally rot and die.
Yeah, I think we're saying the same thing. I want them to hurt, and I want them to suffer.
Yeah, lethal injection. It's too easy.
It's too kind.
I don't know. I mean, I can see how you would want someone to just be dead and gone. I completely get it. And then there's the argument of people thinking that, you know, life in prison costs taxpayers more money. It actually doesn't.
Yeah,
it's cheaper.
I know you've told me that before. I was shocked.
It's very shocking. But when you have a death sentence, you have mandatory appeals that you have to go through. I mean, these people, they sit on death row for years and years and years. And a lot of them, they don't even see the death penalty. They're just dying on death row.
Yeah. So they're in jail for life anyway, essentially.
Correct. Yeah. It's the appeals and all, and the legal process that costs the taxpayers a lot of money.
Let's take all those appeals away and just do it the same day they're found guilty, if their crimes were that bad and they're over the age of 50.
Alicia,
thank you. The end.
Alicia for president, 2028.
I might run.
When are we doing elections? I don't like it even fucking matters.
I think it's 2028. Let's run for president and vice president.
No one would vote for us except for your mom, probably.
We'd get some votes.
I don't know. Would you guys vote for us? Comment below. Or don't, because we don't really get any comments on social media.
Nobody loves
Comment,
us.
guys, please.
What else do you want us to talk about, guys?
Yeah, let us know what cases you want to hear, because we need some inspo. I was thinking about doing another 3-4 parter.
I think we're due for one of those.
Yeah, who should I do? I was thinking John Wayne Gacy. What do you think?
You've been talking about that one for a while.
I have, and I keep seeing John Wayne Gacy stuff.
And I feel like I saw a killer clown buck on your table.
Yeah.
That's a sign.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. We do have some exciting news. We are going to be doing an interview with the mother of a murder victim, someone who was murdered in Delaware. Very, very sad story. It's awful. Is it the wrong word to say excited? But I'm very excited to talk to her and get a firsthand account of a family member, because we don't really get that perspective. Mm-mm. We've never had that perspective on our show.
I feel like you get victim impact statements in court, but not everybody gets to hear them, and not everybody gets to really feel what a family feels.
Yeah. And also, in talking to her, there has been a lot of misinformation online and also in other podcasts. And I want her to have the opportunity to set everything straight because that's important too.
100%.
And just to throw this out there, we do reach out to people when we're creating these episodes, but a lot of times they don't respond, which is, I get it. It's fine. Not everyone wants to talk to a true crime podcast, but we do want to give victims and their families the opportunity to set the record straight.
Yeah.
And tell their side of the story. And also, I encourage anyone to reach out to us if they have personal knowledge of the case or any case that we cover, or if they were involved. Mm-hmm. If we get anything wrong, please reach out because we will do a follow-up episode and set things straight because we're not always going to get things correct because it's the internet.
Yeah.
The internet is not always right.
We can only do what we can find.
Right. So, if you're ever listening and you're like, hey, I know about this case, or I was the mother of, whoever, and we got something wrong, like seriously reach out because we'll make it right.
Mm-hmm. I know that's definitely the last thing we want to be doing is spreading misinformation.
Oh yeah, no, not at all.
We're here for you. Sorry.
Anywho.
We're here to help where we can, if we can, some way, somewhere, somehow.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, stay tuned because it's going to be a really good episode and you'll get to hear the perspective of someone who's directly involved in a brutal, ridiculously senseless murder that it should have never happened. It made no sense. And yeah, you guys will get to hear firsthand from someone who was involved. So,
I mean, it's, again, you don't want to say, oh, that's exciting, but like it is at the same time.
I'm excited for her to be able to right some wrongs.
Yeah.
And get her side of the story out and get her voice out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, again, stay tuned. That'll be coming out in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Hit us up. We need some motivation. We love you guys.
Yeah. Let us know if there's a story you would like us to cover. Let us know if you want me to do John Wayne Gacy, because I will.
Yes.
I will.
We want you to do John Wayne Gacy. Yes, please.
All right. I'll start that one then. But
Sucker.
Yeah, we thank you guys for listening. And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yes. Don't be one.
Bye.
Bye.